So this Wairuna runoff, where we put in a constructed wetland on the banks here of Montgomery's Drain, there's a 700 millimeter fall across the length of this site. So essentially it's been designed with 3 ponds that are terraced. Each one is 300 millimeters deep, and they drop down to the 600 mil. And that 300 millimeters is a prime depth for these wetland plants to flourish. And the ponds, the size of the ponds has been determined largely by the landscape here, the shape of the land we have to play with. And the first pond is about 300 meters squared. Second one's a little bit larger, and the bottom pond is the smallest of the 3. Each pond is constructed slightly differently. That's a bit of a scientific experiment. The top pond has got a clay base to it. The second pond has 10% clay mixed into the base, and the third final pond has no clay mixed in with the soil. That's really for us to understand what we can and cannot get away with in terms of hydraulics, and trying to construct something like this on a budget. The flow through this wetland is 1 litre a second, and that's to constrained by the Canterbury Land and Water Regional Plan. That's the permitted unconsented take allowed. And this is quite an unusual design here in terms of it's not at the moment aesthetically pleasing because it's immature, but when the plants grow you probably won't see it. But the ponds themselves have been built with, you'll see these logs in them, and essentially these bunds, and they're there to control the hydraulics and try and maintain a uniform long flow path, which is basically optimal for nutrient removal and nitrate removal, which is the prime purpose or objective of this wetland.
This was kind of a no man's land spot on our farm, short of just growing native grass and getting grazed by the sheep once a year. It added no real value to the place, and it was always a bit of an eyesore from the house. So that's why we chose here. It's just pretty much like the Montgomery stream goes through this spot, and it's just running shingle essentially along this patch. So yeah, so obviously the purpose of the runoff is to take nitrate out of the sort of divert water and take nitrate out of the water that we have diverted. And we were just trying to, we did pick a spot that was probably the hardest spot we could have picked on the farm, but it was also the spot that we wanted to beautify, if you like, and we tried to do it on the bones of our asses, I guess, and as replicable for any farmer to do again as possible. So I think so far it's working, but we won't know until a few years, once all the plants have grown and developed, and that it starts actually building its own wee ecosystem and really denitrifying. But so far, positive results are positive.
G'day, my name's Nick Vernon. I've been working for Synlait Milk Limited for about 4 years. My involvement in this project is with Phil Everest. He's a Synlait supplier just up off Fords Road. My role in Synlait is a sustainability advisor, but I also have the pleasure of running and operating the Whakapuai program. Through that program, we actually donated 1,700 plants to the Catchment Group's wetland project, as you see here. That donation probably contributes about $10,000 worth of funds approximate to this exciting project. Obviously you can see the results speak for itself, but at the moment this project, or this wetland, is pulling out 24% of nitrates from the drain. The drain is running at 9.6 parts per million, and out of pond 3 is 7.3 parts per million, so 24.3% reduction.
G'day, I'm Donald Kelly from Tarbottom Land and Civil, and my role is Fields Contract Supervisor. I got called on this job to come and sort of organise our guys to come down on operators, a digger, sort of go over what the rules and regulations were, to what guidelines to keep inside of, which was a bit of a tricky bit, which we tried not to stretch too far, but yeah, it'll sort of come out in the end, and yeah, it actually looks quite good at the moment.
So those who are interested in installing a wetland of any form, or edge of field mitigation measure for nutrient removal or sediment removal for that matter, not that that's such a topic in this lower Hinds area, the Dairy NZ website has a lot of information on there, including the Constructed Wetland Practitioner's Guide, which we have formulated with NIWA, and it's publicly available on the website. And it's essentially a DIY or do-it-yourself guide to building a wetland.
There's plenty of people that the project wouldn't have gone ahead without. So probably Phil Everest is the main one who spearheaded the whole project, and it definitely wouldn't have happened if it weren't for him. And he is the facilitator for the Hekio Hinds Lowlands catchment group. And then we received funding from MCCC and MHV, and there's been a lot of people from MHV, Justin Legg and Murray and Mel in particular, that have pushed the program forward and done water testing and the like, and obviously Ange Krishney and Duncan Barr and the rest of the board for their help as well. Sinlay and Dairy NZ were involved in the design and planting of the runoff. Sinlay provided the plants from their nursery, so yeah, plenty of others that I've probably missed, but